So this takes place right after the events of Alien 3, and you follow the group of Marines that have responded to a distress call. They're on the USS Sephora, which is a Conestoga-class starship, just like the Sulaco was from the Aliens film. You're responding to a distress call. You arrive over LV-426. You find the Sulaco there in orbit, which is weird. Everybody thought that it had been destroyed over Fury 161, but here it is. We go in to investigate, and then, of course, everything absolutely goes horribly wrong.
Could you tell us about how this game pushes the genre of first-person shooter forward?
The idea of having the motion tracker is awesome. You know, thank you, James Cameron, for designing that gameplay mechanic for me. That notion that you can be walking around, you got this area where attacks can kind of come from anywhere. It's a little bit tense. You get a ping on that motion tracker, and now you got the motion tracker up because something's moving around you. You don't know where. You're tracking it. Suddenly something comes bursting out of the wall at you, gun up, firing away. It's a really, really cool tool that we can do really cool things with as far as building tension for the player, adding to that sort of intensity of the immersion.
All right, I played the multiplayer game, and playing both sides, I noticed that the aliens seem to have a distinct advantage over the Marines.
It's kind of fun watching people play it because they might separate out a little bit, you know, that kind of thing. But you learn quickly that you get taken out. You know, if you separate, you're going to get taken out, right? And so the Marines start sticking together and working as a group, like a squad, like Marines should, right? You know, you'll have like one guy that's like, I got the tracker up, he's calling out targets, and you know, you got a guy taking up the rear, you got two guys moving forward. It's kind of awesome, and that's just all emergent gameplay. They're not told how to play, it's just people play that way because that's how it presents, which is really cool. Then you just sit them down and hand them a controller and go, okay, you're going to be a xenomorph, go play as a xenomorph. And so they start using the ability that they can see, you know, sounds and motion, you know, through the environment. And so they start setting up ambushes, and they start coming in from, you know, using the ceilings and the walls more, you know, and that kind of thing. An added bonus, which is kind of awesome because not a lot of games are doing this. If you play campaign and you earn a bunch of experience and rank up and get a bunch of unlocks and upgrades, you can start a versus and take all of that right over with you and use that stuff. And then if you rank up there and you jump back into your campaign, you just take it right back across to the campaign. So it's kind of cool because it's not two different games and two different, you know, personas that you're building up. It's the same thing.
Could you tell us a little bit about the aliens? I noticed that there are different types of aliens.
We came up with some new alien types that are within the canon now, which is pretty cool. You know, we have like this big, giant, monstrous xenomorph with a huge, like the queen kind of crown in the front, but it's essentially impervious to bullets, you know, from the front. So you got to be real strategic about how you avoid being killed by this thing, while at the same time trying to get good shots in on it from the sides or from behind to get past this sort of big shield that it's running around with, which is kind of cool. And we've got these other Xenos now that have these big acid sacs in the sides of their head, and they can shoot acid at the player, and so they tend to stay up on walls and ceilings and that kind of stuff and fight you from a distance, which really breaks up the gameplay with the Xenos because, you know, the traditional presentation of the Xeno is that it's this monster that's coming to get you, so it's going to come try to grab you. But now we got this one that shoots that fights you from a distance, and then we also got this one that's this just giant crushing monster, you know. So, and there's some other ones that we haven't really talked about, but we're really expanding the palette there.
And how are you? I'm not sure, are you satisfied with this game? Are you? I know it took a lot of time in development. The game looks awesome. Are you pretty much happy with the output?
Everybody's just kicking ass right now, working as hard as they can to polish everything up. You know, we've got to the point where everything's in. It's just a matter of tuning it all, polishing it all, and putting on the final touches. And so everybody's just working really, really hard.